Hawks, a surprising result. Miami lost by double digits. I thought they would win by double digits, but they ended up losing by double digits, and they looked out of it. And I think the Hawks' size was the reason why, because I've been saying this since the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
They need size. Miami needs size, and that's why I thought Kevin Love joining the team would help. And they didn't even play him. They hardly played him in that game. So I don't know what Miami was thinking. Like I don't know what Eric Spoelstra was doing in that game.
Well, I don't know what power. I don't
Bam
know.
Adebayo is really a power forward. He's not a center. Jimmy Butler is not a power forward. He's a small forward. And then you got what's his
What
Hero
era?
playing playing um playing small forward. You got Struess playing shooting guard, and you Gabe Vincent. These guys are not they're not starters. Hero is probably a starter, but the rest of the guys they're not starters.
Hero's not. Yeah.
So, so what they need to do, they need to Miami needs next year. They need to regroup this team. They need to add size. Bam Adebayo cannot play five forever. He's too small. He's a power forward. He needs help on the front line, and that's the issue with this team. If they had a center, a legit center, they'll be much better, and they'll be have a chance. And also, one more thing, they need to play Duncan Robinson. They two things actually. They can't shoot. They
I
cannot
haven't, I
shoot
haven't heard
at
that name in
all,
a
and
month.
they have no size. That's the issue with this Miami team. And Eric Spoelstra, everyone talks about he's a great coach and all these things. He's not playing the correct players. He's not. Cody Zeller needs to get more time. Kevin Love needs to get more time. Duncan Robinson needs to get more time. Not because they're great players, but because they're big. They have size, and Duncan Robinson can shoot. Kevin Love can shoot. So it spreads the floor. Max Strus, every time I see him play, he makes 1 3 pointers, takes six. He's one of six. Why is he keep shooting? Why is he keep playing? And then Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent is a backup. He's a backup to the backup, probably. He's not that great of a point guard. So why is he getting so much minutes? I don't know what that team is doing. I don't know who told Eric Spoelstra to construct his lineup this way, but he's fell in the team by how he's going about handling the lineups, and also by allowing Bam Adebayo to exert energy playing the center position and not his true position at the four. That's the issue with this Miami Heat team. It could all be fixed if they get a big man and they add shooting. That's all they need.
Wait, so
All right. I
what
wanna.
let me go. Let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
Go
What's
ahead.
nobody was saying this before? Now it's a problem.
I said it. I
Oh
said it. You know I
man.
said it. I said
Oh
it. Didn't
man.
I say they should add Kevin Love because they need size? I never said that.
I'm not talking.
Kevin
I
Love is the
never said
Kevin
that.
Love is the
No,
five that's going to
hold on. Yeah,
protect the
wait.
rim and do
I
all of that
no no.
for the
He's not
team.
the five, but he helps. He helps. That's their
He helps.
problem, and I
So why the
been
Cavs let him go?
complaining about him.
Why the
Huh?
Cavs let him go?
Why the
It,
Cavs? He asked to get
he
released.
asked to get released.
He asked to get released.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
he wasn't playing.
the, exactly. He was not
Okay,
playing
then. So
because Cavs have a lot of big men and they play deep. They focus on defense with their big men. Kevin Love is not a defender. Miami, he fits because he spreads the floor and he catches offensive rebounds. What was the problem
wait,
in
how
that
does he
game?
fit if he?
They was not catching rebounds and they were not making shots.
He
Kyle
got
Lowry was
bullied.
the only one
He
making
got bullied
shots.
by Capella 100%. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
that
did.
was gonna be
Exactly.
one of my takes, but I mean, let me just let me
That's
just
the issue.
let me just go real quick. Let me just. All right, I agree with you on Bam to an extent,
Yeah, to an
but
extent.
people weren't saying this before the game. But I do agree to an extent that he may be an undersized five that probably should not be playing five. But at the same time, he was one game away from, was it the finals? He was one game away from the finals. No one was
Last
saying
year.
that
Nobody
then.
was
Last
saying
year,
it
no one
then.
was saying that then. But now all of a sudden,
Yeah,
they're on. Another thing, we're talking about undersized. How tall is Devontae Murray and Trey Young? Those are
That's at
two under that's two undersized guards. So I mean, those are two undersized guards. They weren't playing a team full of 6'7" guards and wings and whatever
wait a
the
minute.
case may be. Let me just let me
I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what the thing is. First of all, Laurie gave you 33. So all this talk about undersized this,
I
Laurie
want
gave
to
you
hear
33. Hero gave you 26. Hero gave you 26. That's 60 points right there. First off. Second, I'm just going to get right to it. Jimmy Butler is not a number one. Jimmy Butler is not a number one, especially at this stage of his career. Jimmy Butler cannot lead you to a championship. I mean, he did have that nice run last year, and then the bubble, whatever, that was decent and all. But Jimmy Butler, I don't think Jimmy Butler is that guy. That's why I didn't look. I mean, I didn't, even with them winning, like doing as good as they did last year, I didn't think much of them this year. I mean, they had some injury issues, whatever the case may be. But, like, ultimately, is do I trust Jimmy Butler to lead a team, especially in the East where you have four powerhouses? I don't need to say them, the teams. Do I expect them to lead up the Heat? No,
Wait,
I
I'm sorry. You
don't.
said four?
Yeah, four. I consider the Cavs a powerhouse.
Oh wow.
I consider the Cavs a powerhouse personally. So I didn't really expect them
Wait,
to do much of
you could
anything. But
you consider them?
the Cavs,
All
yeah,
right, cool,
the
awesome.
Cavaliers, yeah.
Bet.
All right, so I don't think the problem is the Heat's roster and a lack of size. I think their problem is they need someone where all else fails. Get me a bucket, get me a bucket, get me a bucket. And I said this in the group chat, and I'm going to say it on the pod for everybody to hear. The one team in the NBA at this point that I think Kyrie Irving is a perfect fit for is the Miami Heat. I
Yeah.
I
think
agree.
Miami, I think Kyrie Irving on Miami, I don't know if they'd win a championship, but I think they'd reach that contender level where you'd have to take them serious. I think that's the team where all else fails. The Heat need, when all half court, nothing is really flowing, whatever, get me points, get me a bucket. Kyrie Irving's that. I think that's what the Heat are lacking, and Kyrie Irving's that dude when it comes to that. I really think that's the one team where you put him on there and it makes the world a difference. All you people could blame Bam Adebayo, 9 rebounds, 41 minutes, whatever, whatever, whatever. No one was talking about the Heat. Everyone was singing, "Oh, Oladipo back. Why they ain't play him? Oladipo back last year. Look at all the minutes he could give you, productive minutes off the bench. Why they ain't play him?" People were singing Caleb Martin's praises. Look at his defense last year. Now all of a sudden, I don't think it's the roster. I think they just need one guy, one number one, even if it's a 1A, 1B kind of thing between Kyrie and Jimmy, where they're sharing the ball, whatever the case may be, running the offense. Because, Jimmy does run a lot of the offense for the Heat or whatever. I think that would be a good fit for them and would give the Heat the extra push to be on the level with those top dogs. And I'll just leave it at that. The Hawks and I don't really have too much to say about the Hawks. They surprised me. I had the Heat winning that game. The Hawks definitely surprised me. The Trae Young rumors, the trade rumors, I guess that gave him a spark, whatever. He came out, he was balling. Devontae Murray was the whole team, that whole squad. Sadiq Bey was giving them good minutes. That whole team was balling from top to bottom. They just outplayed the Heat. They wanted it more. They just simply outplayed them right in Miami. And no one in Miami wanted to be there. You see all them empty seats. They said we going to the beach at 8 p.m. in the dark over watching playoff Jimmy in the playoffs. Well, I guess it's not the playoffs, so that's why he ain't show up. It's the play in. So that's why playoff Jimmy ain't show up. That's my take on that game. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, it is what it is. Um, I'm gonna just I'm just gonna say I agree wholeheartedly with everything that Mick said. and I'm not going to go further on that. I'm going to mention kudos to Trae Young, not making the All Star game this year. Seems like he has something to prove, especially with um, all the trade rumors swarming around him. I mean, he could have not, you know, he could have played like probably the worst game of his life, but he came out, he played, did what he had to do. Apparently, these owners called him, all the executives behind the scenes called him up and had to reassure him and say, we're not trading you, which is interesting. I've never seen somebody do that before the playoffs for a superstar person. But so clearly they were thinking about trading him in the off season. And then it turns out that he came out and did what he had to do, lead his team to a victory. So kudos to him. I had them actually. It's a shocker that they won to me, so I have to say kudos to them for getting the victory. So let me help Jacob out a little bit with his size thing. So he said, all right. So Bam Adebayo versus Clint Capella. He averages 14.3 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 4.2 assists. So there you go. There you go. You happy, Jacob?
No,
Okay.
I'm not
I
happy.
understand. Yeah, he's a
I'm
Heat
not
fan,
happy.
guys. He's a Heat fan.
No.
I know Jacob got a lot to say about
Yeah,
Jimmy more than
yeah.
anything.
And
He
Yes.
just sitting there holding it in, so let it
That was
all
let
out,
it
such.
out,
man.
let it out. Because
That
I
was
wasn't going to
such
hammer it in,
BS.
but I was like,
Let it all out, man.
Jake already said it.
That was that was such
Let
BS.
him.
And you agreeing with that is such BS. Jimmy Butler is not the issue. That was not a Jimmy Butler problem. That was an Eric Spoelstra problem. He didn't. How much minutes Duncan Robinson got? How much minutes Kevin Love got?
Now
He
Duncan
his
Robinson, the
roster
savior.
construction. That's the problem. He needed size against Atlanta. If you look, and I'm not talking about the guard position, like Murray and Max Strus is about the same size. Trae Young and Gabe Vincent is about the same size, but they're big guys. Jimmy Butler is playing the four. How can Jimmy Butler play the four in this team? Like it's like he's playing a bunch of midgets compared to this big team. It's not going to work. I don't know what's going
Big
on in
team,
Eric
but
Spoelstra's
Murray,
head.
the undersized backcourt, Murray and Trae Young had 13 rebounds
They're
to
not
Jimmy
on the
Butler's
side. They're the
4.
same height. They're the same height. Murray and Trae Young is the same height as Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. And then Tyler
So
Hero is 6'4". He's 6'4" going against Hunter. Hunter is about 6'9", and then you got Clint Capella and John Collins. You got
they got the same
athleticism.
amount of rebounds,
You got
bro.
athleticism, but John Collins is athletic compared to Jimmy Butler, and then you got Clint Capella against Bam Adebayo. That's ridiculous. What
They
what
want
coach
John
is gonna
Collins
say,
out
"Hey, Jimmy
of
Butler,
the.
go out there and play power forward, and not even think about
Uh,
putting in Kevin Love. At least play your big men at least, and then if you
Kevin
see
Love
Max
just
Strus,
go
Max
camp the
Strus got a lot
3.
of minutes. Max Strus gets too much minutes out there, and he doesn't make any three. He's supposed to be a three-point shooter, and that's why Jimmy Butler doesn't look like a number one, because you're not surrounding him with the correct pieces. He's playing the four. He's exerting too much energy on the